CCISD police officers took the lead today in training DPS troopers in what to do in an active shooter situation. In tonight's top story, our Marissa Cummings shares what was learned.
Sergeant Edward Lerma led DPS officers through Cullen Middle School. It was a part of a mock active shooter scenario.
It's important that whatever responding agencies, including DPS, that they understand what our procedures are.
He said if there's ever a shooter, it's key that other law enforcement know how to go about the situation in a school setting. Lerma said they ran drills from 8 in the morning until 3 in the afternoon, and for 2 days. That way, officers get to practice what to do in a variety of situations.
We have a wide variety of scenarios that entail different types of contacts within each scenario.
This is the first time DPS Trooper Allen has been a part of active shooter training. He said it's helped boost his confidence.
Every sweat, blood, and tears that we go through here in training, it will lead us to being more confident when the actual real situation happens.
Allen adds, although CCISD and DPS are two different law enforcement agencies, they all have one thing in common.
You want everybody to make it home safely, so that's our common goal, our common objective.
This year, CCISD officers have held 12 active shooter trainings. Marissa Cummings, 3 News.